Hi, everyone. I am Violet Ayala, the founder of FemCity, and you're joining us for an evening chat. I have asked the amazing Sharon Seaberg to join us. She is one of our FemCity Founders members, and she's also one of our ongoing experts. And so her energy is always amazing, and everything she shares is always filled of really good wisdom. So Sharon, thank you so much for helping us today with your webinar regarding wellness and balance. And I'm excited to learn from you. Take it away.
Thanks. I thought I would start today by kind of describing what's kind of coming to me lately is, you know, if you've kind of been on this like spiritual path a little bit, or maybe you're religious or something like that, most of our society teaches us that we need to lose our ego. We need to surrender, control, lose our ego, all that stuff to, um, I guess, to feel better, to, not be driven by our ego. But really, what I found is that for women, the masculine, if you think of the masculine versus the feminine energy, what we actually need is the opposite. So, yes, the masculine energy does need to surrender, soften, not be so aggressive, but the feminine energy actually needs empowerment. And so that's one of the things I want to just kind of bring into this discussion with us today. And what I've done is I've prepared like top 10 ways to have this more aligned success. So really kind of creating your career, balancing it with well-being, and making sure that you're doing things. I guess tip number one is actually redefining success on your own terms. And so what I want you to have, what I want you to do to start is to really just kind of take a breath and drop into your heart and ask yourself, what does success feel like in my body? When you shift from this achievement driven to more fulfillment driven goals, you create a career that's more supportive of your well-being than draining it. So just take a moment to really think about this. Maybe write this question down, journal on it. How do you currently define success, and where did that definition come from? And if success were based on feeling more fulfilled rather than achievement, how would that definition change? And so going back to that idea of empowerment, I'll just move on to tip number two, which is about creating boundaries. And saying no is saying yes to yourself. So again, women need empowerment, which really is self-love. It's coming from a place of deep love and trust in what you need, and trusting that what you're creating is for the highest good of everybody, including yourself. So, women, we struggle with people pleasing, overcommitting, feeling guilty, or feeling guilty for setting limits. So, learn to reframe boundaries as an act of self-respect and sustainability, and share how clear communication and honoring your time make you more present in both work and life. So, this boundaries really come from a place of deep self-love. Just allow yourself to kind of take that in, and what does that mean to you? So a question for you is, what is one area of your work or life where you feel stretched too thin, or a boundary could support you? Where in your life do you say yes out of obligation rather than desire? And how would it feel no? How would it feel to say no with confidence? Again, as you begin to recognize what it is that you need, you begin to recognize that what you need is actually what's best for all. Like I'm sure you've heard the saying about the oxygen mask, right? Put it on yourself first because you're no good for anybody if you're not filled up. So it's kind of that way of thinking. So number 3 is the energetics of business. Energetics of work. So really aligning your passion with capacity. So this is around like energy management. And it's actually even more important than time management. Because when you are feeling good, when you are in that flow and you're actually really lit up, you can do things it's so much easier to do everything, right? So take a moment to really tune into your natural rhythm. When are you the most creative? Is it in the morning? Is it in the evening? Allow yourself to kind of check in with yourself. So you want to learn to work with your energy rather than forcing productivity. This leads to better results and joy. And around energy management, you can also, the way I like to describe this is your body is almost your compass for this. So when you think of each thing that you're doing, again, this kind of goes back to self-love. When you're thinking about anything you're doing, is it feeding you energy or is it draining your energy? And we're all probably going to do a mix of both, right? We can't always just be working in the most energizing thing, but we want to recognize that. We want to recognize what are those tasks that give us this energy that we're just so excited to do that when we do it, we lose track of time. And what are those things that you do that drain your energy? So a question for you: when do you feel most energized at work, and when do you feel most drained? And then how can you structure your day to work with your natural energy levels instead of forcing productivity? So tip number 4 is around your nervous system regulation. So the key to sustainable success is this nervous system regulation. And again, this kind of goes back to that self-love, right? You can almost think of self-love as your battery. Where are you draining it and when are you filling it up? So high achieving women often operate in this constant go mode. That was me. I kind of wore this badge of busyness as a badge of honor, right? So which really led me to a burnout state when I was in corporate. So simple practices like breath work or grounding, just taking a break. Mindful breaks can shift you from that fight, flight, or freeze phase into a state where you can make clearer decisions and feel more at ease. So a journal prompt for this is: how does your body tell you when you're stressed or overwhelmed? And then what practices help you reset? Take a moment to really think about what are those activities that help you come more in the moment, make you feel more grounded, make you feel more at peace. And then what is one small habit you can incorporate in your daily life to support your nervous system? Maybe it's going for a walk in the middle of the day, breathing, or just shutting your camera off and doing a jam session, dancing around your office. That's always fun. All right, tip number 5 is using the more feminine approach, flow versus force. So the traditional career model is built on this linear growth, like hustle, grind, right? Constant doing. But a more feminine approach leans on more of the cycles and intuition and spaciousness. So think about where you can add this flow-based way of working more in your life. Where is intuition and strategy meet? That's what helps you create more balance and sustainability. It's really tuning more into that intuition. Like, what's up for me now? What's right here for me to do. That's what we need to do. So where in work are you pushing too hard instead of allowing things to unfold naturally? And then what would it look like to invite more ease and flow into your career while still making progress? So you can pause these if I'm going too fast through these journal prompts, but hopefully this is helping you really think about this and really get to understand yourself better and what are the things that bring you more harmony in your life. So moving on, I'm going to go to step number 6, which is self-compassion over perfectionism. So women, especially high achievers, often hold themselves to these impossible standards, right? Perfectionism isn't a badge of honor, it's a barrier to your growth. So women need to learn to celebrate success and embrace what's good, and embrace what's good enough, and treat themselves with the same kindness they give others. So for your journal prompt, how does perfectionism show up for you, and how has it held you back? Think about that. And now for another journal prompt, write a letter to yourself from the perspective of a wise, compassionate mentor. What would you say about your worth and your progress? Notice how far you've come, how loving this higher self is to you, how proud they are of you. Notice how when you think about this, when you're writing this, you actually feel more settled, you feel more grounded, your nervous system relaxes, because this is more of the truth of who you are and truth of what's happening. And then tip number 7, your body as a compass. So listening to those physical cues. Our body is always communicating with us, but we often override these signals in the name of productivity. Stress, exhaustion, tensions, they're not signs to push harder. They're actually invitations to pause. So start to check in with your body. How am I feeling? What do I need? And really honor those responses you'll get. You'll get responses. You know, when you've been sitting too long, your hips might start to hurt, your back or shoulders, or your body's telling you it's time to get up. Maybe just go take a quick walk, right? So here are some discussion questions. So what physical signs, headaches, tension, fatigue, etc., show up when you're out of balance? You have a hard time remembering things? That's what happens to me. What is one way you can listen and honor your body more in your daily routine? And now tip number 8, align your work with your core values. When your career is aligned what truly matters to you, work feels energizing instead of depleting. So think about this. What are your top 3 values? And does your current career path honor them? And if not, what small shifts can create more alignment? So if you're not sure what your top 3 values are, because that's kind of a big question, right? It's a really important question. And our values do shift over time. So you can think about what I really like to do is, I'll give you a couple of things to think about. When you're not in the room, what's missing? What do you bring to the table? Or what are some things that you admire in some people? And now for another kind of journal prompt. If you fully lived and worked in alignment with your values, what would shift in your career? Okay, I'm going to go on to tip number 9, the myth of work-life balance. Instead, think integration. Instead of chasing the perfect balance, which often leads to guilt, focus on the harmony and integration. So some seasons are career heavy, while others call for more personal space. The key is intentionality. So consciously design a life that includes both success and well-being. So some things to think about here are, what would work-life integration look like for you in a way that feels sustainable and joyful? And how can you bring more harmony between your work and personal life without feeling guilty? Okay, our last tip is your energy sets the tone, so lead with presence. So whether you're leading a team, running a business, or navigating career growth, how you show up matters more than what you do. Just think about that. So when you show up to a meeting and you're scattered, or you're thinking about something else, you're not near as effective as when you're present, when you're reacting, when you're responding to what's happening in the moment. When you're grounded, confident, and aligned, people respond differently to you. And this shifts everything from negotiation to leadership to opportunities and relationships. Your most valuable, the most valuable thing you have is your attention, your presence. So how do you want others to feel when they interact with you at work? And how does your current energy reflect that? Journal on that. And then one more for you. What daily rituals or mindset shifts can help you show up as your most grounded and empowered self? So I hope this gave you a lot to think about. We went through these 10 tips fairly quickly, but do spend some time, if you just watch this really fast, go back and pause between each of the journal prompts and really take a moment. This is like fundamental for your success, being able to feel good. And it seems like it's, who needs this? It's actually what allows you to see possibilities, to see greater opportunities, and learn how to actually, you even create opportunities better because you're showing up and people are reacting to your energy in a more positive light. They want to be around you. They want to invite you into things. They want to work with you. So how you feel is affects how you perceive things, and this perception affects how you respond to life and what you create. So I love to help people get into to be that more powerful creator. So, and this is all around self-love. The more you love yourself, the more powerful creator you are. Thank you for taking the time to go through this. I know it was quick, but it's important, so thank you.
Thank you so much, Sharon. This was amazing, and I feel so calm. I feel so like, oh my gosh, I think this is really wonderful, and just very grateful for you taking the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.